Hi, this is Joey from J&J Fantasy Flyers.
This is Jason, and we're helping you soar above the competition.
Soar above the competition. Well, if your playoffs started last week, hopefully you are still alive like me and Jason are, right, Jay?
Yeah, it's always good to get a win first week in the playoffs. Keep your hopes alive at least one more week.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those of you that start your playoffs this week, hopefully J&J helps you get there, right, Jay?
Right, Jay.
Anyways, here we are. Like I said, week 14, we're going to go over our week 14's ranking show. We're going to do it a little bit differently here because there's not too many of you watching that are still active in your league that most likely drafted a Jay Ajayi or a Amari Cooper or a guy like that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of season killers out there.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do this a little bit different. Like I had stated, we're going to go with guys that maybe you have rode all season and maybe guys that got tougher matchups. We're just going to talk about and see where exactly we want to go with that, and if you should either play your studs or let's ride the matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys, that were drafted late that a lot of people rode into the playoffs. Maybe some guys that were picked up off of waivers, or even guys that maybe you drafted earlier who had a real bad first half of the season and are really starting to come on hot for you.
Absolutely.
And you're going to play that hot hand through the playoffs, get you that championship.
Now, before we get started here, me and Jason, we're going to tuck our tails between our legs here. We're going to go over a couple things here. First is going to be our biggest bust of the season, and also we're going to do our fantasy surprise, somebody that maybe we didn't really see, coming out, and has been a surprise. And we're going to start off with our bust, and I'm going to let Jason go first.
Whoa. I think it's probably no secret. I don't know if he's the biggest bust of the year, but he's my biggest bust was Jay Ajayi. It's been bad. I mean, he's been better since he's been on the Eagles, getting half the touches he was getting in Miami. But, I mean, he's the number 35th ranked running back so far this year in PPR leagues.
For some guy you had to grab in the first 2 rounds,
Yeah, I mean, he's got you 2 big games, over 100 yards. Only 1 touchdown so far this year.
Are you starting him this week?
Excuse me. I mean, I don't think you are. I mean, unless he's in as your flex.
Let's say you're still alive.
If you're still alive, I mean,
with Jay Ajayi, but can you start him?
I don't think you can. I think you have better options for your flex position right now. I mean, if you've been playing the waiver wire actively throughout the season, I think you should have better options on your team right now than Jay Ajayi. And I'd rather play someone safer than hope and pray he breaks a 40-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, and that's really all you're going to get with the Ajayi. And it's not just you that had a bust this year. I guess I got to say mine too. And it kind of sucks because I wasn't high on this guy when the first rankings come out, and when we first, we're getting into fantasy football. So like for us, like in February, but really in June, July, I was like, man, you know what? I'm not touching Terrell Pryor 10 football. New team, this and that. I don't like it. He was in Cleveland. They suck, and they didn't want him. Okay, then I started looking at stuff. I'm thinking, you know what? And then I heard something, or I read a stat that said that the route that Terrell Pryor runs the best is Kirk Cousins' favorite route to throw. And man, I fell in love. I was like, oh my goodness. Then on demand, they started saying they got rid of all the guys for a reason, and they were doing this, they were doing that. And the next thing you know, boom, I'm all on the Terrell Pryor bandwagon. I'm every league. And to make matters worse, I started him for the first 5 weeks. It'll get better. It never got better. Thank God he went on IR, because then he was easy to drop.
Yeah,
so
I think I was starting Ajayi up until 3 weeks ago myself. So
you're praying and hoping, and to spend that high draft pick to get them guys. That sucks when your ROI is crap on that. But let's go to a little bit of an uplifting mood here. And who's your fantasy surprise? Maybe somebody that you didn't see.
It's not really a surprise because I've been high on this guy coming into the season in the whole season. My surprise is how high he actually is right now in the rankings, and it's Adam Thielen. I mean, he's top 10 wide receiver so far this year. Actually, he's number 5.
So, are you more surprised that he continued his hot streak last year?
Yes, I predicted he would finish with more yards than Stephon Diggs. I thought Diggs would have the touchdowns on him. I did not expect him to be a top 10 wide receiver. I was thinking more like top 24. But, I mean, he has just been on fire, and he's been running the whole year, man. Just solid game after solid game with a couple really good ones mixed in there. And, I mean, when you put up a baseline of, like, 6 catches for 80 yards, you know.
He's basically, I want to say he's like one of the only wide receivers that have almost 5 catches in every game, right? Minus last week?
Minus last week is his first time having less than 5 catches, yes. And I believe I heard that same stat going into last week.
I think it was him and Landry.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, that's the amount of consistency there. I mean, you know, them big weeks are pluses, but if you're going to get 12, 13 points out of your wide receiver every week, you'll take that. I mean, you
where he was drafted, I mean, probably at the end of drafts.
Wide receiver 3 territory.
Yeah, I mean, you probably didn't even start him week 1. Some people probably didn't. And now here he is. I mean, he's more than not, he's probably your number 1 receiver on your team.
Absolutely.
So
now, you know, I definitely understand where you're coming from there, and you know, I hope Thielen flops this week because I am playing against him. And
I do have Thielen in every league I'm in, except one standard one I didn't. So, but I lost that one.
Yeah, so I figured
because I didn't have Adam Thielen.
Well, you're gonna lose another one with Thielen this week against this guy. That's another thing. Me and Jason, we go head to head against this week in the semis. I believe you're the 8th seed, snuck in there, knocked out the number 1 seed. And I'm coming off with just a thrashing of our buddy Hardigan, who doesn't like our 1 running back league. Now, mind you, we start 1 running back and then we have a flex option, 12-team league. We're not a fan of having to start 2. There's just not that many running backs to go around, let's be honest. But speaking of a running back that, and the drafts, if even went there, that's Alvin Kamara. Yeah. Arguably the best player in fantasy football right now.
Yeah.
How many fantasy football championships are going to be won because of Alvin Kamara?
He's probably going to be on a very high percentage of
I can tell you 2 that he's not going to be on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and that's both the leagues that I'm going to win the championship because I did not have him. But anyways, Alvin Kamara, absolutely tough. Now, this is, I know after the fact, but I loved Kamara coming out of college. Jason knew it, and we were at the Combine watching. Man, we love Kamara. Then he got drafted to the Saints, and we were like, there goes his fantasy relevance. They just signed Peterson, Mark Ingram, a lot of mouths to feed there, and I didn't like the situation. And then to be honest with you, once Adrian Peterson got traded, whew,
it was lights out for both of the backs.
Oh man, it's just as soon as he got traded, I traded Devontae Freeman. I traded Devontae Freeman and Eli Manning to get Marcus Mariota, which should probably be my biggest bust now that I think about it.
He's on my list of busts.
Yeah, he's on mine. He killed me. And Alvin Kamara. I mean, I traded, and Devontae Freeman was a top 5 back. Just because, man, I love that situation. Him with Drew Brees. I mean, dude, that is lights out.
Guy's just an animal, man. You see him get hammered on Sunday, and he just...
Right at the goal line.
Yeah, just shook it off and put it in for the touchdown.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's going to... Next year, when we, redraft and we do our rankings, I mean, if Alvin Kamara's not in the top 5...
Yeah.
Now, I'm not just saying running back position. I'm saying he's going to be gone in the top 5 picks of your draft.
Now, what are you talking about next year real quick? If Mark Ingram finishes as an all-pro, which at this rate he's going to, he's an unrestricted free agent. Is he going to stay or go? And if he leaves, man, is Kamara going to be the number 1 guy? Because the Saints aren't known to have just one running back carrying the load. Not that Kamara can't do it, but...
I don't see Ingram going anywhere. I think he's more valuable to the Saints than he would be other places.
The money's gonna talk, man.
Yeah, I hear you, but I don't think he's one of the guys who's going to get paid. He's not like a Bell. Like Le'Veon Bell is going to be out there.
But Ingram is good. He hasn't had the workload for some reason.
But he's not that sexy name. I mean, even on his own team, he's the second runner.
Yeah, but look at the guys who go out and get paid, man, off season. Just because you don't get those.
But do running
agents.
backs really get paid?
No, but most running backs are 25 years old.
Well,
Ingram's free agents.
Ingram's older than 25.
Is he?
He's
not much older.
Man, I remember him in college. He's got to be 28. Looking at
maybe 28. Okay, let's see if I can find him real quick. But go ahead and...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To be honest with you, I like Kamara. I think we would both agree that if you had to own one, Kamara is the back you want, especially in PPR. Now, don't get me wrong. If you got Kamara and Ingram both on your team, you're starting them both. It doesn't matter who you have.
He's 28. But still, 28-year-old running back.
It's on the...
Who doesn't have
the mileage and all that. I get it. But, I mean, Mark Ingram's track record's not the best either. I mean, me, personally, I like Alvin Kamara. I don't know... I think I like him better if Ingram stays, if that makes any sense.
Okay, yeah. And that's kind of what I was getting to,
yes,
really.
I like Kamara better if Ingram stays. But to be honest with you, if you got Kamara this year, you're going to ride him as far as you possibly can. Hopefully you could pair him with like a Le'Veon Bell. If that's the case, man, that is a 1-2 punch that you could ride to your championship.
I think there's probably an opportunity for a lot of teams to have Kamara.
Anybody could.
And Bell.
Yeah.
I mean... Shoot, you could have Kamara, Gurley, and Bell. I don't know who would. I don't know if you'd ever start all three of those or not, but.
Could you imagine? I know I got Bell and Gurley in our dynasty, and I've been riding that. I couldn't even imagine adding Kamara to the mix. But anyways, we're going to move on here to our rankings. You can check us out on Facebook, J&J Fantasy Flyers, or on Twitter
at Fantasy Flyers.
Yeah, at Fantasy Flyers. And also on our website at jnjfantasyflyers.com. Before we start our rankings, though, I just want to tell you a quick story here that happened to me. Obviously, this is our first year putting this podcast together and everything here for you guys. I actually stopped to grab a water and, Snickers on my way here. A couple slices of pizza we can snack on while we do our production meeting. And I go to cash out, and the cashier looks at me. He goes, "Hey." So what's up? He goes, "You're that guy." I was like, and I just kind of looked at him. He goes, "You're that guy from that podcast." And I swear to God, I never felt more proud of my life. I said, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "Man, I love listening to your show." He goes, "To be honest with you, that day you and Jason argued about Tyrod Taylor." He goes, "That was hysterical." And to be honest with you, in our meeting today, me and Jason went back and reviewed the footage and watched that.
We weren't sure what argument he was talking about, and then come to find out, we had a 10-15 minute argument about Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, and he sucks. I think I won that argument too, by the way.
No.
Absolutely won it. You dropped him for Jay Cutler. That's a win for me anyways. But anyway, speaking about quarterbacks.
Because he was benched.
Okay, so I'm just going to continue here. Speaking about quarterbacks here, like I said, we're going to do a little bit different here. And we're going to start with guys that, obviously are normally no-brainers. But you're in your first or second week of the playoff here, and you got some tough matchups, and we're gonna get the ball rolling here with, let's just say the #1 quarterback in fantasy football this year. That's Russell Wilson. Jason, we got Russell Wilson going up against Jacksonville Jaguars defense, #1 ranked against opposing quarterbacks. What do you think?
I think you're probably stuck playing him. He's been on fire pretty much since week 7. Even before that, he had a good couple big games. But week 7, he has not scored, less than 25 points in it. Excuse me, a 6-point per passing touchdown league. And I don't know how you can get away from him. I think his skill set is the type of skill set to help him get by a defense as stout as Jacksonville's because of his running ability and his playmaking ability to escape the pocket. And then, Doug Baldwin just, runs backyard routes, and next thing you know, you're breaking open.
Now, let me ask you this, because I think a lot of questions that we would have or some viewers would have is, where would you draw the line on Russell Wilson? Who would you start in front of Russell Wilson this week? If, let's say you had 2 on your team. For example, me, and just to go where I'm from, I think, the chances of you having Tom Brady and Russell Wilson are slim. So I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to put that in the equation.
That would be the only guy I think I would start over.
But let me ask you this. Let's do maybe a real-life scenario as to what could have happened. What about guys that are inside our top 5, maybe ranked a little bit higher than Wilson, like Alex Smith or Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz? All 3 of them guys you could probably have with Wilson. I would say that you would almost have to lean on Carson Wentz over Russell Wilson, correct?
Yeah, I think you would, but the Rams have been pretty tough against the pass themselves, but I think they're a lot more beatable than Jacksonville.
What about like an Alex Smith going up against Oakland or Rivers against Washington? They're all hot quarterbacks.
Yeah, I can't trust Alex Smith right now, just because,
he put up 40-something points last week.
Yeah, but what did he do before that and then before that? You know, I mean, he's been good, and then he had a downturn, and he had one more good game, and it's like everyone's forgotten about the past 3 games before that all of a sudden. Now, granted, Andy Reid took himself away from the play calling.
Now, let's get a little bit away from this here, though. Mm-hmm. So not Alex Smith, but what about Phillip Rivers? Because I think, that's the next guy I want to talk about as well.
That's a tough call to me, man, because Phillip Rivers has been lighting it up. And he's got a very good matchup. It's at home.
He's at home against Washington. Washington's ranked 16th against opposing quarterbacks. I mean, I like that a little bit more, but, I mean, here's what it comes down to. Russell Wilson got you there. Let's be honest. Okay? I mean, with Russell Wilson, can you sit Russell Wilson for Phillip Rivers? Can you do it?
I don't think so, man, because it's one of those things where if Russell Wilson blows up and you end up losing your week because you benched him, you're going to hate yourself for it.
Or is it one of the things to where that if Russell Wilson were to play this game 10 times against Jacksonville, he probably scores over 25 twice, correct?
I don't know about twice. I mean, to be honest, I'm looking at Jacksonville right now, and they've allowed over 20 points to opposing quarterbacks just twice. 21 points to the Chargers and 25 to Arizona, which was kind of a odd game for them. So, I mean, maybe you do start someone like Phil Rivers, but it's tough to say, man. I think you got to kind of roll with who got you there. I'd feel better about myself losing with Russell Wilson than I would about losing with Russell Wilson on my bench.
Gotcha. I mean, and I know, the reason why I picked the quarterbacks that we have are because them are the 4 that we really wanted to focus in. Mm-hmm. Carson Wentz, Alex Smith, Phillip Rivers, Russell Wilson. And there's a very good possibility that you could have 2 out of the 4.
Case Keenum, too, even.
Oh, yeah, Case Keenum. Now, he's kind of more of like a dart throw. Let's say, if you think about it, if you made the playoffs, Case Keenum probably wasn't your starting quarterback for the year.
No, but he's been startable the past 5 weeks.
Absolutely. I mean, and I definitely understand that here going forward, but he might be somebody, if you lost, Andrew Luck or Aaron Rodgers and you're just trying to piece it together.
You picked him up for a bye week fill, and the next thing you know, you're starting him.
Yeah, I mean, I like Case Keenum as well. I mean, just for, if you are hurting at the quarterback position and you are throwing a dart, I mean, Case Keenum definitely served. I won a championship with Case Keenum 1 year, so I'm going to ride him as well. But just to go back to kind of the top 4 here that we have, with Rivers, Wilson, Wentz, and Smith. What order are you ranking them in?
For this week? The rest of the season?
If you had to pick, let's say them were your 4 options at quarterback and you needed to win in playoffs, how's that going to roll out here for you?
Probably going to go Wentz, Wilson, Rivers, who else? Smith, Rivers, and Smith. Remember that order. Wentz, Wilson, Rivers, Smith.
Wentz, Wilson, Rivers, Smith.
Yes.
Gotcha. Which is not bad, but I think what we're saying here is unless you have maybe any of them 4 guys, I mean, I don't think you can fault playing Alex Smith over Russell Wilson. It's kind of one of the things, man. But let's say you had Alex Smith and you don't have Russell Wilson. Let's say your backup quarterback is Marcus Mariota, because that's what he is now, that to me. You feel pretty good about starting Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's one of the things there as well. Just, man, it sucks to have a guy like Russell Wilson on your bench. But you also don't want to lose because of a bad matchup when you have a top 4 quarterback.
Think about it this way, man. When Tom Brady, he's a number... Do you bench Tom Brady?
Against the Dolphins? No.
Against anybody?
Yes.
You do.
Against the Bills last week.
What? Yeah, looking back now, but going into any week, do you bench him?
I don't know. The one thing I will say about Tom Brady, though, is when it comes to fantasy playoffs, the dude disappears. And that's why I would not vote for him for the Hall of Fame.
Answer the question.
Yes.
If you have Tom Brady, would you bench him?
If I had... This week, no.
I mean,
if Tom Brady was going up against Jacksonville, and I had Carson Wentz going up against Cleveland, I would play Carson Wentz.
Stuff, I guess. I mean, I was just trying to prove a point that you just didn't seem to want to go along with, I guess.
Nope. I hate Tom Brady. But no, I mean, it's tough. But if you have the number 1 and number 2 ranked quarterbacks, go with the better matchup. I mean, you're not going to hurt yourself. Go with the safer play, the higher floor, basically. I mean
1 through 5 are probably interchangeable, really.
Absolutely. I'd even say 6. I'd throw Drew Brees in there, even though he's kind of been struggling. It's Thursday night. Not a big fan of Thursday night matchups. But let's say you got Matt Ryan. I mean, you're playing Russell Wilson over Matt Ryan, correct?
Oh, yes. Yeah. You just can't count on Matt Ryan to do much of anything. That Saints defense has been good.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just going to throw another dart out there for you. JR already touched on Case Keenum, which, to be honest with you, I'm probably rolling with in one league because Mariota let me down. But another dart throw is just going to be Jay Cutler. Monday night, he gets the quarterback on Monday night. He gives you a last-ditch effort here. If you're hurting it, if you're that bad, if there's no other quarterbacks available, Jay Cutler's your guy.
Yeah, I mean, chances are you're going to be...
I think Miami beats New England this week. Monday night, prime time. Don't get me wrong. I have no basis on this. Mine is how Miami plays New England in primetime games. They're hungry. They're home. The defense is looking tough. Our safeties, Xavier Howard, he might, honest to God, next year I think we're going to be talking about him as one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Tankersley's looking a lot better. McCain in the slot. You know, the Patriots don't have Gronk. Our run defense, I think shuts
that's
down
going to be huge. If we can shut down the running game, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I to be honest with you, I really think the Dolphins beat the Patriots this week. You're playing Brady, you're playing Cooks, you're playing all the guys, but no Gronk, man. That's a big piece.
Yeah,
I think we match up. So, and obviously we're gonna need Cutler to do it. And I mean, we blew up against the Broncos, which I mean, it's the Broncos, but maybe that little spark under our offense, they got the jitters out. So, but we're gonna move over to running backs.
Yeah,
my favorite part of the show. And we're not going to talk about Alvin Kamara. And why aren't we, Jason?
because we already did.
And he's in your line. There's no question. You're not sitting Alvin Kamara.
Well, nobody's saying you weren't sitting over Kamara.
So why would we talk about it? What about
been really good?
What about Leonard Fournette going up to Seattle? Are you sitting him?
I don't really.
I think he's hit that rookie
I
wall.
think he's one of those guys, man, that you kind of feel obligated to start just because. I mean, who are you going to start over Fournette? I mean, these guys they don't have the upside as these guys. They don't have the track record. I mean, he's been pretty bad the past 2 weeks, and then even the week before.
Let me ask you this:
4 weeks ago.
Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt, who you start?
Who's this kid in Oakland? It's tough.
You just don't feel good about starting Fournette, even though.
I think we got to play Fournette, man, because Kareem Hunt is not getting touches.
I hear you. But let me ask you this, okay? Let's say it's Leonard Fournette going up against Seattle, or maybe a Lamar Miller against San Francisco.
I like Lamar Miller better this week.
I agree.
That I can get behind.
Now Fournette got you there, though. Is that one of the things to where you start your studs and you kind of roll with it? I mean, he has been kind of sluggish.
He's getting the volume though still. I mean, yeah, the Seattle defense is tough, but it's still he can still put up decent numbers for you. If you were to get out of there with 60 yards and possibly get you a touchdown, you're happy with that. I mean, you're not happy with it, but you'll take it.
But he's no Alvin Kamara.
No.
You got anything you want to add on Alvin Kamara? Because we can't talk about him enough.
I mean, he's good. Every game, man, he's got like a statement run where he's just running somebody over and just breaking one or just leaving guys behind him. Every single game, he has a statement run just to let everybody know he's the best football player on that field.
Yep, if not in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, now let's go with maybe a top guy who's got a pretty bad matchup, I would say. I want to say too bad, but it's not the best, and that's Todd Gurley. Now, there's going to be a lot of championship teams that have Todd Gurley on it, correct?
Yeah, I mean, he was drafted, in the third round this year, I think?
Third, yeah.
And the second, third-ish. So, and here he is now, the number one running back in PPR leagues. I mean, there's not much else to say. I mean, Philadelphia has definitely got a tough run D, second-ranked run defense. I mean, you got to play him. He's the number one running back.
There's no situation where you would sit Gurley.
No, there's no situation, and you're going to be okay, even if he does,
I mean, I think Gurley's going to put up 15 points per game. That's his floor.
I think so. I think that's safe to say. I mean, he's going to get you a couple catches, 15, 20, 30 yards, and then get you another 40 on the ground. He's going to get the volume, which is going to, like you said, it's going to project him to like a minimum of 15.
All right, so let's drop down to maybe our second-tier guys a little bit here. Not our deep sleepers, but just maybe a couple second-tier. And I really only have one question on this. Jordan Howard's kind of let us down. I mean, Rex Burkhead's kind of on the rise. It's one of them hot hand situations. But what about Carlos Hyde? He's not flashy like you had stated in the last show, but I mean, he is the ninth best running back in football right now. But he's going up against a sneaky good Houston defense against the run. They're actually third.
They are.
I mean, do you start maybe a Rex Burkhead over a Carlos Hyde?
I would actually start a Rex Burkhead just because, like I said, the matchup. And it's not like Carlos Hyde has exactly been lighting on fire. He's been very steady. And, I mean, steady's good, but he's not going to come out and...
He's not going to put you over the top.
Yeah, and Burkhead's going to come out. He can put you over the top. I think they both have the same floor, and Burkhead has a much higher ceiling.
Gotcha. Now, let's say, we've had some injuries here to the position, and you missed on Kamara, you missed on Bell, Gurley, any of them, and you want to go a little bit later, somebody you picked up waiver wire, maybe maybe you had Zeke. What do you do with Alfred Morris? Does he start this week?
Yeah, I think you put him in. You find a way to get him in your lineup. You saw what he did last week, even 2 weeks ago, where he put up 17 for 91 against Philadelphia, who just talked about the second-ranked defense against the run. The Giants are just a complete mess right now. I mean, the defense is a little better. It's okay, 19th against the run, so middle of the pack. And, I mean, I think they found out last week that it doesn't matter who's running the ball, they just got to give it to them.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's going to help control the game. It's going to open up the passing game for Dak. I think they realize that, and I think they're going to keep that trend going through the playoffs.
Yeah, I like Alfred Morris this week as well. He's entrenched in my my flex spot, that's for sure. Now let's go a little bit deeper here, maybe to a guy that you never heard of, and it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to trust these guys, especially in your playoffs. But Peyton Barber, he's been doing it the past 2 weeks. I mean, to be honest with you, he's looked better than Doug Martin. He's catching the ball. He's getting the yardage. He's a goal line back. I mean, he's going up against Detroit. It's a sneaky good matchup there. Peyton Barber's catching 4 or 5 passes a game. That's 4 or 5 points right there in PPR.
Yeah, I mean, he, like you said, he has looked better than Doug Martin has this year. He's quick. And a lot of people thought it was going to be Quiz coming in this past week, and they announced that Peyton Barber was going to get the start last minute. When the kid's only like 24 years old, I think. So, I mean, I could definitely see them rolling Peyton Barber out and see what they got.
They gave him the ball 23 times.
Yeah.
23 times for 102 yards up against the Packers. I mean, he's a sneaky play, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the plays that could win you your league, or, who knows, we never hear from him. Now, let me ask you this. Does Doug Martin, if Doug Martin doesn't miss this game, let's say Doug Martin plays, do you play Peyton Barber?
See, that's the thing. I don't think you can just because of the uncertainty, but I can see the situation where the Buccaneers give Barber the nod, and they want to see what this kid can do. I believe the Bucs can cut Doug Martin after this year without any penalty on their cap hit.
Remember how much you love Doug Martin?
Mm-hmm. Muscle hamster, man.
He's no more.
No, he's kept in his cage. He's running around his little wheel.
He's not even running.
No.
He's just kind of sitting there eating a bag of chips.
Eating too much food.
Eating some bonbons.
I don't know, man. So, like I said...
Let me ask you this. I mean, I guess, I might be a little bit higher on Barber than you, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to say, hey, Jason, I'm going to start Peyton Barber over Jordan Howard.
No, I mean, Howard has not been good. So, I mean...
But see, is that something to where you could pull the trigger on that?
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta look at the numbers, man. You gotta... I know it's...
As long as Martin doesn't play, we feel pretty safe Peyton Barber, right? Nobody else there, Sims, Rodgers, anybody else?
Yeah, and like I said, pay attention, man, because if Martin's healthy, Barber still might get the nod, or maybe it's more of a split. And, Barber can still put up production with, 12 touches instead of 20 touches.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one all day long. But, yeah, other than that, I mean, I definitely could see, you can make an argument to play Peyton Barber. I mean, if you're looking for a running back 2 or a, flex or something like that, I mean, Peyton Barber, I'd say he's pretty safe to get you some points. He's not that sexy name, but by all means, you just want the points. You care less about the name.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's what matters.
speaking of names, we're going to go over wide receivers, the divas.
Divas.
Now, we got some big names here for you. Some names you probably haven't heard since 2014. And then also some guys. We had some big weeks last week. First and foremost, I guess I'll kick it off here with who did I pick for wide receiver?
Who did you pick?
Yeah, it's your guy.
My guy?
As your number one pick in our leagues.
Adam Cleveland?
AJ Green.
Oh, AJ Green.
AJ Green.
You had me confused. I didn't know where you were going.
No, I hear you.
Like, my guy? Who picked? Yeah, AJ. Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, AJ Green, and man, he's tough, but he's going up against Chicago, 20th ranked against the pass, or against wide receivers. Last week, he had 16 targets. I think last week kind of his breakout game, and wish we'd seen a little bit more of that from him during the season, right, Jay? I know you, being an AJ Green owner.
Yeah, man, and the thing is, it's nice to see the targets, but he's been solid throughout the whole season. I mean, he's definitely had a couple duds. And I think the whole Bengals team as a whole is starting to turn it around a lot more the past few weeks. And, a lot of people, it happens for every position and every year, is you get the beginning of the year stuck in your head and how bad the Bengals really were. I think I mentioned this before on the podcast, too, that he's been fine, but, definitely like to see a lot more of that going forward.
A little splishy splash.
He had a very good game against Pittsburgh.
But he disappeared in the second half.
Well, he had that one deep bomb that got called back. I believe, was that the second half or first?
Yes.
So there was that, and that was a stupid call, man, by the way. That was
holding, yes.
That was garbage, but anyways, I told you, I hope he didn't use up all of his juice this week. He's got to spread it out over the rest of the year. He's got a tough matchup against Minnesota too, week 15. But he's one of those guys, man. You're plugging and playing. You don't bench him. He's a solid play. He's going to be on your team's fight. He brought me to the playoffs in 2 leagues, so.
Oh, I hear you, and like I said, I like him this week with the matchups here. I'm also going up against him, so I have him no place, so I really hope he doesn't do well, but I really think he does have a pretty good matchup. I'd say he's get you about 18 points. Sign up for that all day long. Another guy, backup quarterback that you like, he's still, I think he's the number 2 ranked fantasy football wide receiver in fantasy football. Let me reiterate that one. It's DeAndre Hopkins, right?
Yeah.
What do you think he does this week?
Look, I really just want to top picked him. I picked him to want to talk about because all the hate he was coming against. We're talking about guys that are on playoff teams, helped carry through the playoffs. I think he was also drafted around Gurley, in the second, third round, and he's just been on fire. It's not just the Watson effect anymore. You've seen him have good games with Savage at quarterback. He's getting the targets. And, you can just shows you how horrible Brock Osweiler was last year. And how bad he is as a quarterback. How he is in the league right now and other quarterbacks that aren't in the league is beyond me. That has nothing, it's a totally different subject, but DeAndre Hopkins, like you said, you paid a 3rd round for him, number 1 quarterback, number 2 run. What position here?
You're going to make it.
Number 2 wide receiver. He's probably carried your team to the playoffs if you have him. And same thing, man. He's got tough Jacksonville matchup in week 15. You can't get away from him. You can't bench him. He's just going to get targets. It's the same thing as running backs we talk about.
Well, week 14, he's going up against San Francisco. You love the matchup, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're pretty high on it as well. Now, let me ask you this. Let's say you had to pick one. Now, obviously, you do not have this problem because you're playing both of them, whatever league you're in. But do you think DeAndre Hopkins can sneak higher than Antonio Brown going up against Baltimore this week? Like, if you had to start one, let's say you could only pick one for like a daily, where are you going? AB still the number 1 guy, or these?
I think we're gonna grab Hopkins on that one. Honestly, and I don't know, maybe it's me. I'm just a Ben hater.
Yeah, Baltimore's tough though. They really
They
are.
do. They have, they do have that tough defense.
Now, speaking of pretty good matchups that I like actually, your next guy is a guy you already touched on here today, but hey, you love yourself some Adam Thielen, right?
I do. I wasn't expecting talking about him earlier, and then then again here. So basically the same reasoning. He was drafted so late, and now being where he is as a receiver, he's carrying your team. I mean, there's one league, man. I got him, AJ, and Hopkins as my wide receivers. That's just how the draft worked out with the Ed Green going in the first, Hopkins going late. I'm going to trade for Hopkins, but and Thielen going so late that him as my third wide receiver. Really, he's your first wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely tough. I mean, Brady is, spoken on Thielen. You like him going this week against Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, Carolina doesn't scare me that much.
Not scared about his, poor performance last week, Thielen's?
I mean, no, it wasn't even that bad. He didn't get in the end zone. I mean, he still put up, 51 yards, which every wide receiver has those games.
Does he have that game this week, though? I mean, let me ask you this. Do you start Adam Thielen over Mike Evans?
Yeah, you do. Mike Evans has been bad. He's just been bad.
What about Larry Fitzgerald?
Oh, who are they? They're home against Tennessee. No, I like Fitz this week at home against Tennessee.
What about Julio Jones?
That was really tough. I think they're really close to being even on that one. But
that just goes to show you how good Adam Thielen's really been.
Yeah.
He's in the conversation with Julio.
Yeah, and I think Julio, he could completely disappear like Julio does. And I don't think Thielen's going to disappear. Thielen's going to give you a baseline of 4, like he has all year, 5 catches, 50 to 60 yards.
Yep. So, basically, to be honest with you, in one league, I'm going up against Antonio Brown and DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, that's going to be tough. It's actually our dynasty league. And then also I'm going up against Des Bryant. Would you play Des Bryant over Adam Thielen? And the resurgent, I mean...
Who they play, Washington, right?
The Giants.
Oh, Giants.
Jack Rabbit Jenkins. To be honest with you, I think Des Bryant...
Didn't he get put on IR?
Jenkins? I don't know.
I think they put him on IR.
That's not good. Anyways, I'm going up against Des Bryant this week. I think he does have a pretty good game going up against the Giants. I don't know why the fantasy gods are pissed at me, but the wide receivers that I have to go up against this week are Des Bryant, Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins in one league. Then the other league, it is, like you mentioned, AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, and Adam Thielen. That is tough.
Yeah, Jenkins is on IR.
So, whew, God bless me. That's all I can say. There's some tough wide receivers I gotta go against.
There are, man.
One league, though, I get to counter with Bellinger early, so I kind of like that. I feel good about that. The other league, I'm just kind of... I had Gronk. We'll get in that tight end situation,
Yeah,
but that one does hurt. But so yeah, I mean, I think Dez is up there. I think Dez sneaks into maybe the top 12. He kind of let you down all year, but I like Dez going forward. I think he called for the ball last week. I think it's going to carry over into this week as well. Now, to my favorite guy that I get to talk about. It's Josh Gordon.
Yep.
Josh Gordon. He's back, baby. He looks good. No injuries. What did he have, like 11 targets last week?
Yeah.
Do you trust Josh Gordon?
Pulled him in for 4 catches.
4 catches, 85 yards.
Yeah.
Do you trust Josh Gordon this week?
I don't know, man. I don't know if you can trust him in your playoffs. I mean, it's...
Would you sign up for 4 catches, 85 yards, 12.5 points?
Yeah, you take that any week of the year, but...
Especially from your flex?
I just don't know if that's what you're going to get.
What do you think you're going to get? I mean, obviously they made it a point to get him the ball. Let me ask you this. You got Robbie Anderson going up against Denver. Or you got Josh Gordon going up against Green Bay. Who are you going with? And I'm very intrigued because that's my dilemma.
Robbie Anderson.
I think I'm going to play Josh Gordon just because I think you're trying to steer me off.
I'm not trying to steer you off. I mean, we've seen one game back from Josh Gordon. You know, we've seen a season of very good production from Robbie Anderson against a very bad Denver defense.
Yeah, but they still got them corners, Harris and Talib. Talib's fresh.
They're getting torn apart, man.
Fresh off the left hook.
They're getting torn apart. Fresh off the left hook.
I hear you. Josh Gordon, to be honest with you, I feel pretty safe about starting Josh Gordon.
I mean, I can't blame you if you do. I definitely see the upside. I see the intrigue to start him. I mean, me personally, in the playoffs, I don't know if I want to play with that volatility. If he's your flex, you need that high upside play. You know, maybe you're, like you said, you're playing against murderer's row wide receivers. Maybe you need him in there to hope.
You know, the one thing that I feel really good about in that one matchup, going up against that other coach that I have not lost to in 2 years. I feel really good about that. It's something it is, but I got his number.
Maybe you do.
We'll find out next week. I'm going up against Jason, by the way.
Yeah.
And he hasn't beat me in 2 years. We went back and looked today. 2 years.
I don't know. I think you changed it.
Has beat me 2 years. It ain't gonna change this week. And then, if somehow you get past the phenomenal team that Mike Manicki has put together, because he raped our one member of our league. I hope you're watching, Mike, because you really did. Traded Trevor Siemian for Russell Wilson. Come on.
Hey. So I don't know.
Come on, man. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Look, I mean,
I hope he takes. No, I don't. But if he, I hope you beat him so I could beat you in the championship, because that's what I really want. It would make that trophy that I'm going to have sitting here next year, which will happen, by the way. It'll make that so much sweeter.
It will be sitting there with my name on it.
I don't think so.
I do.
Maybe a second place.
No.
I might even put on the plaque runner-up, Jalen Froman. If that's the case. You know, I think the Nicky beats you this week. I really do. Because that matchup is just, man, it's our dynasty.
We've already beaten them twice this year, man. So
third time's charm.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you because I don't want to play Mike. I really don't.
You scared of him?
Not really.
Oh.
Just I'm gonna talk about shit. It's gonna happen. So hopefully, I mean, who knows? I might get knocked out by Airway, who traded Simeon. So that'd be my luck. But anyways, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I'd like to knock you out in both leagues.
Yeah, well,
that'd be cool.
I'll tell you what, if you knock me out in Dynasty, I'll be fine with that because it's in the championship and it is what it is. As long as I make it the championship, man, it's cool. I say I won one league this year. I don't care which one.
So you're cool with second place?
No, I mean, I want first, but it's like, hey, if I'm there, I got a shot.
Hey, I hear you. But anyways, we're going to keep the ball rolling here. We're going to go right to our tight ends. And basically, I mean, the big thing is the top, arguably the top two out of the three top tight ends. Good chance that they're not going to play this week. We know Gronk's out for sure. Zach Ertz got the concussion. I mean, what are we looking at? I mean, what are we doing if we have to have that fill-in? Because a lot of teams got Ertz, and a lot of teams in the playoffs got Gronk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who do we have? Chances are you don't have another backup tight end on your roster, and if you do, he's not that great.
Yeah. You know, I'm cool rolling out like Jack Doyle, who is... Well, Doyle rules. I mean, he's a number 8 tight end.
He could be out there, though, on some...
He still could be out there in some waivers. He is 79% owned in ESPN.
You know who my dark horse is?
Yeah, actually, and he's owned less than Doyle is. So he's definitely going to be out there for some guys who want to talk about your guy here real quick.
Ricky Seals-Jones?
No.
Cameron Brate?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like Ricky Seals-Jones
Hey,
too.
he's probably the number one ad, I think.
Yeah, if to be honest with you, if you could get Ricky Seals-Jones to replace one of them guys, do it. By all means, I think he gets you 6 to 10 points. You'll take that from your tight ends, but all along. However, if Cameron Brate is available, if somebody dropped him who's scared of the O.J. Howard trend, I would pick up Cameron Brate. Jameis Winston's back. He loves Brate. I think Brate finds the end zones going up against Detroit, 22nd ranked against tight ends. I love the matchup. I'm starting to fall in love with the Buccaneers this week against Detroit.
Yeah,
I think it's a high-scoring game.
Brate's been good when Winston's the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Fitzpatrick was in. He was not targeting him.
Fitzpatrick just spread the ball around too much. There was too many different people.
Well, he's a better quarterback.
But Winston locks in on Mike Evans, and he locks in on Cameron Brate.
I don't know, man. I think Winston's got a lot of work to do before his contract's up. Not that he's bad, but...
Who you got for tight ends?
Jack Doyle. Solid play.
Okay, who else?
Going against Buffalo.
Start him.
Jimmy Graham. My man, Jimmy Graham. Number 4 tight end. I know I got him in one league late. Well, not late, but, mid to late round. I think a lot of people were down on him coming in this year a lot more, and he just performing, man. He's a red zone machine. They're in the red zone. They are targeting Jimmy Graham. I mean,
you're not scared of the Jacksonville matchup?
No. I mean, I think they're going to get down there, and they're probably going to have a couple opportunities to score a touchdown. And like I said, they are looking to Jimmy Graham in the red zone, at zone. I mean, he's probably got just targets. I got actually. I'll look this up for next week's show. But I want to see what his red zone targets are compared to the rest of the league, man. But he is. I mean, the past since week 5, all right, he's got 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 0, 2, 1, 1, 1. I mean, he's just.
He's beast.
Yeah.
You'll take that. All day long. If you have Jimmy Graham, you're starting him. I think another guy here that is, a mainstay in your lineup every week. Evan Ingram going up against Dallas, 18th against tight ends. The resurgence of Eli Manning, he's going to come back and he's going to blow Dallas up.
Yeah, this will surprise me, man, because as we talked about beginning of the season about how non-factor the rookie tight ends are, and he's coming on.
Let us be real though. He's the
strong.
only one that they had. Minus Sterling Shepard, if he plays this week, can you name the 3 starting wide receivers for the Giants? I'll give you just last 3 names. You just give me the last names. There's 3 names, 3 guys.
Oh, actually,
I can do it.
Roger Lewis.
There's one.
I don't know the rest. Is Russell Shepard? He's on Carolina, isn't he?
He's on Carolina. Sleeper this week too, by the way. Check out the website, JNJFantasyFlyers.com.
I can't tell you the other ones.
Rudolph.
The reindeer?
Travis. Florida State, I think.
Kyle's cousin?
I don't know. I don't think so. Different colors. I know we got King.
Okay. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, so basically, I like Evan Ingram this week. And that brings us to our best part of our show.
Which is...
Defensive streams of the week.
Right, and who do you have up there?
Miami Dolphins.
Come on.
Going up against Tom Brady. I'm telling you right now. Dolphins will beat New England Patriots on Monday night. If they have not done anything but disappointing the rest of the year, this is the Super Bowl for the Miami Dolphins. This is the Super Bowl. This is the week where Tom Brady gets knocked out, cold, unconscious. He gets sandwiched in between Wake and Sue and the Patriots. That's the end of Tom Brady. This week is the end of Tom Brady. He's going to go down like Bledsoe did. He's going to go down like Manning did. He's just going to go down. Theismann, done. Done, sir, done. This is the week. They're going to knock New England right out of playoffs. They're going to take Brady out. Brian Hoyer's going to come in. Dolphins going to win this game. TJ McDonald's going to have 2 interceptions.
Anyways, let me give you the real streamer, and it's the Green Bay Packers against